Okay, story time of when I dated a nasty minister. Okay, and when I reference this a lot, I say like the nasty minister to my friends and stuff like that, and they know who I'm talking about. But this happened back in October 2024. I just looked at the text messages. I didn't realize it was that long ago. For some reason, it felt like it was last year, but I guess technically it was last year in a way because it's only early January. But this was October 2024, right? And I shared this story to my followers on live one time on TikTok Live. And they were like, I was like, I'm not going to share it. Like, I don't feel like I'm like going to do that right now. Cause I didn't share it in the beginning. Cause honestly, I was dealing with spiritual warfare and I really feel like the enemy was trying to take me out and I was just going through it. Okay. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, I'll probably share it at some point. Why does man text me? This man has not texted me in months. Months. And he's texted me. Okay. So I'm like, you know what? You want to keep texting me because you don't think you did nothing wrong? Story time. Okay. So boom. I'm riding my bicycle, which is my favorite thing to do if you did not know. And I'm riding in the same area I normally ride. Right. I'm done. I'm putting my bike on my car. I'm in a meeting. I have a meeting in my ear, in one of my ears, right? And he walks up. He just like appears and he's there. And he's tall, dark, and handsome. And I just look over and I'm like, you scared me. Like, what's up? Like, because when I meet men for the first time, I'm not very outgoing. I'm not very jolly. I'm very standoffish because I'm not going to feel safe until I feel safe. Okay. So he basically says like, hey, like, you're beautiful. I want to take you out. Da, 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 da. And I tell him like, okay, like, you need my number, whatever. Now this is a red flag I think women should pay attention to. If a man is trying to, as soon as he meets you, like you just laid eyes on him and he's like, let's go over here and go to this restaurant, beware. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Just beware. Okay. So I learned that this man was trying to see me every day because he was trying to groom me, right? Like he thought that he was going to fast track me into something, right? So he get my number, he hit me up, and I think we go on a date like a day later, 2 days later or something like that. So we go to this restaurant that's near where we live because we both live on the same side of town, which is, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing because I never meet men that live on my side of town. Every man lives in the city, right? So boom, we go to the restaurant. Now, let me give you a disclaimer of where I was in my life. I am the only way I knew how to date was like the world dates with wickedness and fornication. Okay. So I was new in my walk with the Lord, like fully being surrendered to the Lord. I started that in 2022. This is the end of 2024. So I hadn't had very much dating experience that wasn't toxic. Okay. Let me just give you that disclaimer. So this man sitting across from me, again, he's fine. He's very like calm, cool, and collect. Like he's one of those smooth operators. Okay. So you know how you sharing, like, you got some food, I got some food. And it's like, you want some of my food, you want some of my food. You give them a little bit, they give you a little bit. He said, oh, I only want some of your food if I can eat it off of your fork. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? And I was thrown off by it, but I just let it go. Now, mind you, I didn't know he was a minister at the time. I just thought he was just being facetious. Is that the right word? Don't let me go out like Cam Newton. Okay, so boom. I ignore that. We go walking after the date and we go to like this little romantic little high thingy where you can walk through it and see like the little neighborhood or whatever. And I feel like if this man would have like if I wanted to kiss him, I feel like he tried to kiss. I don't remember because it was so long ago, but that didn't happen. Right. So then we walking back to the car. He was just on me. Like he wanted to hold hands immediately. And at this time, again, I was not firm in my boundaries. Like, I'm not a physical touch person when I don't know people. So I really didn't want to hold his hand, but I held his hand anyways. So we hold hands, walking back to the car. And he tells me that he's a minister. And I really didn't even know what a minister did, to be honest with you. I know what a preacher is, but I didn't really know what a minister was. So he tells me he's a minister. And he tells me he doesn't normally tell people, but he feels led to tell, whatever. So he tells me, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I wasn't taken aback or anything. So I'm like, great. Meeting somebody that's equally yoked, I thought, would be a great thing, you know? So boom. We continued to date. Now, this man was trying to see me every day. Like I said, like he wanted to see me all the time. And I guess you would say he was kind of love bombing me, but I guess you would say he was love bombing me. He was trying to see me all the time. And so we go on a few more dates. Like, I think we went to the movies. And when we were in the car, now, again, I should have carried myself a little better. We did kiss. That's all we ever did. We kissed, right? I feel like each time that we were around each other, he would try to make sure we were in places where no one else could see us. Because while we sitting in a car after the movies, which is normal, people can sit in the car after the movies, but I feel like he was trying to take things where they didn't need to go, right? Oh, he was trying to rub my feet, right? And I didn't have a pedicure. It was wintertime. My feet was dusty, right? And he was like trying to rub my feet. And I was like, no. He really wanted to take my sock off. He wanted to see my foot so bad. And I was like, no. Like, I would never let a man see my foot and it's not done. And plus, why do you want to see, like, getting feet rubbed is intimate, in my opinion, okay? And there was other things I'm not going to speak on that he wanted to do. And I was like, no. Okay, so boom. Now, before y'all drag me, I only talked to this man for 6 days. 6 days was too long, okay? But I talked to him for 6 days. Another point, he works at the church. The office is in his church. I go to his office one day after something. I was out with my friend or something. It was like still early, like nighttime, but like 7 or 8 o'clock or something. And if it went his way, things would have happened in his office in the church, okay? So when I start realizing that this man is trying to be intimate with me, I start bringing up the Bible. Either I bring up the Bible or he brings up the Bible. So we start talking about it, and in so many ways, he says because he's divorced, now this is even crazier part of the story, because he's divorced, there's a gray area between him being in fornication. He basically says that because he's a minister and he's divorced, that there's a gray area that doesn't say that necessarily he should be abstinent for the rest of his life. Oh, and it says that he can't remarry because I can't remember what type of stuff he was saying. And then in so many words, this is over hours of conversation that we would have. So I can't tell you every single thing that was said, but he also says that like if me and him were to get together, I would be what would be keeping him pure. If me and him were only ones being intimate together, it would be keeping him pure. And I said, now I'm in my Bible. So if I was in my early 20s, I probably would have been stupid enough to fall for that. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm in my Bible, so I know that's not true. And whether that's true for what you believe, it's not true for me. Okay, so me and him will go back and forth, basically. And I could tell he started to get a little fed up with it, right? So he ends up telling me a story. This is like the last couple days that I knew him. It was probably like a day before the last day that I ever spoke to this man, or the last day I ever saw this man. He was like, him and his wife got together. They have a son. But before they got married, his wife had the H, okay? The P's. Okay, the HPs. And he didn't know. They get together, they have a kid together, and his son, by the grace of God, doesn't get the HPs. But he never says whether he has the HPs or not. So I feel like he trying to give me the HPs. Okay? So I'm just like sitting here listening to him tell me this story, and I'm just like, and that's also why he believes he was deceived by his ex-wife. That's why I think that's also why he believes that he can do whatever he want now in fornication. So boom, we move on. And the last day I saw him, he kept pushing it. And I kept telling him what it was. It was like this. I would tell him what it ain't gonna be, and he would act like he was okay with it. And then he would push back. He would double back. He would double down even more. So I was like, no. So one of the last conversations I had with this man in person, he said, well, if you're planning on waiting till marriage and we decide to get into a relationship, so if I cheat on you, like basically if I can't wait and I did end up cheating on you, I just need to tell you now that might happen. I looked at him in his face like this, and I walked off. And he was like, Mia. He was calling my name. I walked to my car. I drove off, and I never saw him again. Well, I saw him again because, let me tell y'all why I saw him again. I only got 20 seconds left. I'm probably not going to be able to say. I'm probably going to have to do a part 2. Y'all literally fried me up for my storytelling. I've never said I was a good storyteller. I know I'm not a good storyteller. My bio does not say storyteller. It says yapper. If you want to read a good story, read a book. If you want a good story, read the Bible. There's plenty of good stories in the Bible. I'm not a good storyteller. I never said I was. I may have a sprinkle of ADHD or something. I don't know, but I'm not good at telling stories. I don't care. Okay, you're here. Welcome. Now listen, I'm going to tell you part 2, okay? So part 2 of me dating the nasty minister. So I walk away from him. I get in the car. I'm out of there, right? He calls and texts me. I don't think he blew me up like a lot, but he was trying to get like in contact with me, and I ignored him. So I'm riding my bike again in the same neighborhood. Before anybody says to me, why would you ride over there again? This is where I always ride my bike. Remember, he met me over there when I was riding my bike. This is where I ride my bike, or where I used to ride my bike. So he never threatened me or anything. I wasn't afraid of him in a sense, but he was creeping me out, okay? And I'll get more to that at the end. So he sees me riding my bike. He pulls up next to me in his car, and he's just trying to talk to me, and I'm just like not wanting to talk to him. And he kept trying to say like, let's get together. I want to see you. I don't remember exactly what he was saying, but I was like, no. That was one of the common themes. He kept trying to see me in person, like after I cut it off with him. Like he wanted to see me in person. I'm like, absolutely not. So he ends up saying, I'm going to call you. Can I please call you so we can talk? I say, you can call me. I give anybody a second chance, like to either show me that you are different or to show me that you are stupid. And I give everybody a second chance. So we get on the phone later that day, night or whatever, and he ain't talking about nothing. He regurgitating the same information that I don't want to hear, and the same just making excuses for his nasty behavior, and I just didn't want to hear it. So we get off the phone. I don't talk to him no more. The reason why I told the story now was because, and it's crazy because I had been thinking about it, and I told the story on live, and everybody was like, dang, that's a crazy story, whatever. But I never had posted it because, to be honest with y'all, this was a spiritual thing for me where I was in my life. And it wasn't like, oh, this is a cute little play story. Like, it freaked me out because of the recurring themes that were happening. And I'm going to share that with y'all. Oh, also, I was thinking about this story. I told the story recently, and then he texted me. I told the story on live, which was nobody really was on live. He texted me and said, I saw you riding your bike. I hope you heard me. Happy New Year. I wasn't riding my bike nowhere. So I don't know if he was trying to bait me or if he really thought he saw me, but I just did not respond. And before y'all say, oh, you should have blocked him. Like, I don't block everybody. I block people who are either irritating or who are rude and disrespectful, which he was disrespectful in his own way, but he wasn't blowing me up and bothering me, if that makes sense. The last time he's contacted me was like mid last year. So it's just like, I just ignore him. It doesn't bother me like that. So this is one part of the story I forgot to share. And this is where we're going to get into the spiritual side of it, okay? Because spiritual things occurring in your life, I notice things in themes, okay? So I see him, we go to an acai place because I really wanted to have that or whatever. So we went. And you know how when you with your person, you stand behind her and hold her, or a man will stand behind you and hold you. But this man is tall like this, like 6'5". I'm 5'5". Okay, so we standing in a acai place, and these two lesbianists, or at least I thought they was lesbianists, they walk in and they get in line. Either we ordered already, I don't remember, but somehow they was in front of us. And the one lesbianist was minding her business. The other one was staring at the guy. Now, not just staring, like looking, like, and then looking and looking away. So this is him. This is me. She looking up at him like, she doing all this like extra, like she got a lust demon on her. It's like clear. And when I'm looking at her, she didn't even look at me once. She didn't even pay me no attention. She looked dead at him the entire time. So I look at him like, and I look at him again, and I'm looking at her, but she never looked at me. For me to be like, are you good? Like, she never acknowledged my presence. So that kind of weirded me out. And later on, I was kind of thinking, like, is the spirit in her recognizing the spirit in him? Because they both nasty. Like, I was just like, okay, I don't know. So that was one occurrence. And then I told y'all about Pastor Philip, how I went to church on Sunday, and that's really what, like, pushed me to break it off. Because I felt like, even though I didn't do anything, I was feeling lustful as well. Like, because I told you I was attracted to him, whatever. And I just felt like I needed to break it off. Like, he's not changing. This is who he is. I don't need to be trying to change somebody I just met 6 days ago. Anyways, So Pastor Philip, like, y'all sleeping in the same room, y'all going to Turks and Caicos, y'all playing with fire, y'all not married. He was dogging us out for fornication during this time. And I was in that, I feel like the one where he be like, ain't no pipe game worth going to hell for. I'm pretty sure I was there for that sermon. So I was getting convicted. So that's the second scenario. And that was like a spiritual thing. Before I met this man, I was watching this series that Tony Gaskins, he's like a Christian and a love coach or a relationship coach or something like that. I was watching his YouTube. He did a series on how men who have influence and use the name of God, so men in the pulpit, men like the nasty minister, men that have podcasts, they use their platforms and their influence, and they say the name of God, and they sleep with the women that are in the body of Christ. Now, all the women ain't innocent, but you know, there's caveats to everything. But that's what I was watching before I met this man. So it was like God was warning me in a sense, and I didn't even know. So that was kind of prophetic. Then I have a dream. I think it was before I met him for sure, but I don't remember when I had the dream, right? I had a dream of an eagle soaring through the sky. And I'm not the eagle, right? I have an aerial view of the eagle. So the eagle's like down here. I'm all the way up here, but I don't know what I am. I'm just witnessing this, right? And it's in the clouds. The eagle's soaring so far up in the sky. And it's peaceful and it's beautiful, whatever. So I wake up from that dream. Most of the time, I'm able to remember a dream very vividly in every single detail, and I write it down. But that dream, I remembered it, but then I forgot it, right? So during this time that I'm dating this man, towards the end, I feel like this was like a day or two before I broke it off with him. I'm riding my bike and I'm trying to go back to my car because I'm in a different area, not where I normally ride. And it's like a residential neighborhoodish type of area, but still in the city. And I take my bike to put it on the back of my car, but then I see this huge bird flying really low, and it just catches my attention. Then I remember I had a dream about a bird soaring through the sky. So I followed the bird down the street, and it swoops down and it's eating a dead animal. So it's a vulture or a buzzard. I send the videos to my mom and everything, and I'm like freaked out by it. I'm like, this is crazy. But because of my dream that was peaceful and beautiful, it directly related to this vulture eating this dead animal, and it freaked me out. And then I started thinking, like, Lord, does this mean, like, what am I doing? Like, am I going in the wrong way? Like, am I making bad decisions? Like, it directly related to the man, right? For me at that time, okay? So I had shared the dream with one of my friends just randomly. And then what I was going through spiritually, I was sharing it with the people that I was cool with. And one of my friends watched a YouTube, and she ended up sharing with me the interpretation of my dream. And I read the Bible all the time, but I just did not think of this scripture, right? So she shares with me the wait on the Lord scripture. Isaiah 40, whatever verse it is at the bottom. Those who wait on the Lord will soar like eagles, or they will mount up like wings of eagles. However it is, when they wait on the Lord, right? So that hit me so hard, because if I wanted to make things go further with the nasty minister, I could have. If I wanted to take a counterfeit, if I wanted to just have company for the sake of having company, I could have had that with that nasty man, right? But all of those things were like recurring themes that was happening in my life spiritually at the time. And I just felt like God was pre-warning me of who I was going to meet. And it may not be a big deal to everybody, like, if you're not living this, you know what I'm saying? But at the time, it was a really big deal to me. And it just freaked me out spiritually. But then it was like kind of a peace at the end, because God was warning me on all fronts the entire time. And it was kind of cool. But yeah, that's it. And that's a big reason why I didn't share it. Because again, this happened in October 2024. It is now January 2026. This was a minute ago. And I just never shared it because it really did disturb me. So that's the story, guys. Beware, ladies. Men, beware too. Because there's Jezebel spirits and men and women. And stay away from the corn. You know, get it together. And somebody in the comments was like, what's wrong with being a man and having a healthy desire? Da, 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 da. In your 30s, get married. You're old. You're big and you're grown. He's not a 21-year-old. He's grown. He know better. So shut up. And you're nasty too.
All right. What to do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Back in the confessional, and yes, we staying lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. we stay lit and we stay live, man. We live on Instagram. We live on Twitch. We live on not Instagram, Facebook. We live on Facebook. All right. So, um, yeah, man. Let me tell you about it. Um, if you got to deal with, well, I guess you can listen to God. You know what? God be talking to me all the time, and then God be telling me to, one thing God tell me to do is shut up, or God tells me to listen, or God tells me to come to God. Like when I say come to God, it's like I'll be up in the morning and then I'll be just moseying around, but uh it'll just, my desire to pray will come on, and I'll be like, man, why am I praying right now? When I be having like bad anxiety, I'll be like, man, you know, gotta pray that anxiety away. It's just times when God talk to you. So I guess, if you're spiritual like that, man, I can't tell you how to feel and what to feel if that's how you feel. I'm not sure what God does with love. Um, but what I do know is God put people in your life for reasons. And some for seasons, some forever. But what I want to tell you is that when it comes to a relationship, you know, don't just settle just because you want to be loved, or you think, oh, you can date somebody and you feel like, oh man, this is the one. But because you like them, you have some type of lust for them, sex is great, um, or whatever the case may be. But it's the energy. You gotta check that energy. You have to have deeper conversations. If you can't have enough deep conversations with a person, and if that person doesn't bring you peace, if that person doesn't soothe your soul, that is not your person. And when you're gonna find out too late. But because if you listen to God, if you talk to God, He gonna bring that person. Man, God has brought a lot of people in my life. And I tell you what, man, God is taking them out too. And you know what? One of the most trying times of my life, when God is taking somebody out of my life, but because He needed to bring somebody else into my life, it was so important that that person got out of there, is because there was somebody who needed me. And God knew that. And God knew having this person in my life, it was not going to work out for me. So He had to do whatever He had to do to get me out of that. And it didn't have to be, it wasn't nothing bad. Nothing bad happened. No bad breakup. No, you know, no violence or nothing like that. It wasn't no, running nobody down with no car or nothing like that. It was just a breakup. And then instantly I started seeing changes in my life. And and uh and I was just like, man, that wasn't nothing but God. God did. He made every move. He made every move. And I listened. And every time I listen, like right now, I be listening. God tell me to do something, I move. God tell me to do something, I pray. God tell me to do something, I give. I give back. God tell me to do something, um I I serve for God. And that be the good thing. See, y'all forget. Y'all forget. Y'all always asking, but what are you serving for God? Yeah. You can't forget to give back. You can't forget to pay tithes. I ain't talking about paying the church. Paying the church. You could pay the church. It's important to pay the church. Keep the lights on the church. But tithes used to be whatever I had. Like if I herd sheep, I give my sheep to the church so the church could feed the people. That's paying tithes. So it don't look at it as like, oh, the pastor driving a Cadillac. Don't look at it like that. You know, give the church the sheep so they can feed the people. Put it like that. And so you can give the church sheep anywhere. So I hear this lady. I hear what she's saying. One thing that gets me is the people who are extra Christian, extra Bibled out. They kind of throw me off sometimes because it seems like they can't make decisions outside of Christ, and I think sometimes that holds them back from even being better or prospering because their mind is so wrapped up in it's like a Christian psychosis. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that it's like your life revolves around church and not church around you. You know, you don't make accommodations for the church. The church makes accommodations for you, you know. So, but prayers out to a young lady. Hopefully she gets it all together. She finds love and stays away from creepy pastors and people who lead her on. Everyday people, let me know what y'all think about this crazy situation in the comment section. And like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.